Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In today's episode, we will share some true winter horror stories that will remind us to be careful when we travel. But before starting the video, please consider giving us a like. Also, if you have any terrifying or unnerving experiences of your own, feel free to reach out and share your story with us. Who knows, it might even be featured in one of our future episodes. It's winter up in the woods of northern Minnesota, and a group of friends decide to rent this remote little cabin to get away for the weekend. They're all pumped for a classic winter escape. Crackling fire, snow outside, the whole deal. They spend the evening playing board games, telling stories, just chilling. But as the night settles in, things start to get a little weird. Around midnight, they hear this faint scratching sound, like something's at the cabin door. They think probably a raccoon or some animal, right? But then, the scratching turns into a soft knock, like a real knock. One of the guys, Brian, gets up and decides to open the door. Brave guy, huh? But there's nothing there. Just darkness and a whole lot of snow. They shrug it off and go back to bed, but the knocking comes back. And this time it's louder, insistent, like someone really wants to get in. They're freaked out now, but no one's about to open that door again. The knocking goes on for a while, then suddenly, silence. Morning comes, and they figure they should check outside, just in case. What they find is super creepy. There are footprints in the snow, like someone or something walked around the cabin over and over. And the worst part? These weren't boot prints. They were barefoot and deep. So yeah, they pack up and leave early, cutting their trip short. Nobody wants to stick around to find out who or what was knocking in the middle of the night in the dead of winter. This next one gives me chills every time I think about it. There's this guy, Ben, and he's really into skiing. He hears about this abandoned ski lodge way up in the mountains in Colorado. The lodge has a pretty dark history. Apparently, it shut down years ago after a bunch of mysterious accidents. Some people say it's cursed. But Ben and his friends, they're intrigued, so they decide to hike up there. When they reach the lodge, it's exactly what you'd expect an abandoned building to look like. Broken windows, everything half covered in snow, and it's dead silent. They go inside, looking around, and they find this long hallway with old, dusty furniture and even some moldy skis and boots. Then Ben notices something weird. Wet footprints leading down the hallway. Fresh footprints. They're freaked out but curious, so they decide to follow these prints. As they do, they realize these footprints are forming in real time, like someone's walking right in front of them, even though no one's there. At this point, one of Ben's friends wants to leave, but Ben's like, "Hold on, I gotta get a photo of this." So he raises his phone and snaps a picture. But then he sees it. In the cracked mirror on the wall, there's a figure standing right behind him. A woman with pale skin and empty, hollow eyes just staring right at him. They bolt. They get out of there as fast as they can, running all the way down the mountain. When Ben checks his phone later, the photo? It's gone. Deleted. All that's left on his screen is a message, scrawled in snowy letters across his phone screen. Stay away. Emma and her dad, who rent a cabin by a frozen lake up in rural Maine every winter. It's their thing. They go ice fishing, skate on the lake, just spend time together. One morning, Emma's out skating near the shore when she spots something dark under the ice. At first, she thinks it's a log or something stuck beneath the surface. But as she skates closer, she realizes it looks like a person. It's a face, a woman's face, staring up through the ice with her arms reaching out, almost like she's frozen, trying to get out. Emma screams, calls for her dad, and together they look at this figure under the ice. Freaked out, they call the cops, thinking maybe someone fell through and got trapped. The cops show up, but they search all over and don't find a single thing. Not a sign of anyone under there. The officers say it's probably a shadow or some kind of ice formation that just looks like a person. That night, Emma can't sleep. She keeps hearing this faint tapping noise coming from outside. When she looks out the window, she sees something that sends chills down her spine. Out on the frozen lake, there's a figure. That same woman, now above the ice, tapping her twisted hand on the surface and staring right at Emma's cabin. Emma can't shake the feeling that the figure wanted her to see it. She tells her dad the next morning, but he just brushes it off and suggests they leave early, just in case. But every winter after that, Emma's been haunted by the image of that face under the ice and that frozen figure tapping on the lake in the dead of night.